What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the data points, the technicals, what's been coming out from the company, and everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with that, let's get right to it. So today it is up 0.88%, so fairly good. It did have a low of $6.19, and regardless, just looking at the chart though, you can tell that almost every single day there's a lot of volatility. And like I mentioned, when it comes down to volatility, options is your best friend. So currently, as far as options go, $429,000 in calls being purchased versus $253,000 in puts. So based on this, people clearly do anticipate upside coming, at least in the short term. And when it comes down to if you are bullish on Lucid, looking at the calls as far as a grid view, all the strike prices, expiry dates, it is anticipated to go roughly between the 650 to 750 by the end of next week. So once again, kind of matches with the technicals a little bit. So with it being at $6.34, it is between this, looks like S1 and the pivot. So kind of came close to that pivot point of $6.52. So these are the next support and resistance points that you need to really watch for, at least going into next week. So I'm going to do a video over the weekend as well, just some expectations of Lucid as far as broader data points coming out next week that could cause a little bit more volatility. But based on that, people are anticipating that it is going to break above this pivot point and trade between this P and the R1. Let me know your thoughts on that, and if you think that's realistic or not, let me know. As far as momentum shows, number of retail investors are flat today. Stochastic is kind of neutral, so it's getting up there a little bit, but right now it is still generally a fairly bullish sentiment, so black line above the red. And at the time of doing this video, there hasn't been any real news coming out from the company itself, so quickly give you an overview of that. So as you can see, no recent press releases, no SEC filings, nothing along those lines. There was a couple of things that did come out that once again, it makes you question things, because like I've mentioned, as far as this, I brought this up a couple times on how Lucid did reduce a lot of their vehicles by up to 18.8%. Initially, this was a little bit more of a cause for concern, but of course during the Q2 earnings that was resolved based on that. But oddly enough, now with this, so now in Saudi Arabia, it looks like they are cutting some of the prices by 11%, one of which is the Dream Edition. So oddly enough, in North America, the Dream Edition it sold like hotcakes. Like everyone wanted the Dream Edition because it was very limited as far as number and many other things. But it doesn't look like that is the same case in Saudi Arabia. So once again, this does make you question things. There's a lot of different circumstances that's happening on a global scale, such as higher interest rates. People just don't want to spend that much money. So once again, for them to reduce prices is usually a sign that things are going wrong, because like I've mentioned in the past, no company, doesn't matter what sector you are in, never reduces their prices unless they have to for some other external reason, whether it be because of to meet demand, because it is all about supply and demand out there. So once again, this is something that did come out on the 29th, so a couple days ago, that I do feel has a lot of people spooked. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. As far as big money getting in, today is a typical Friday, so people are just taking the day off. So only 2 transactions that have occurred so far on the secondary market. So this is why we do have a little bit lower volume today. And based on this though, just generally over the last several days, a lot of big money has been buying, and you can kind of tell that based on just the uptrend that's been happening. So some points to really watch for on the technicals, at least, it is starting to, and wanting to at least, transition from the lower to the higher percentile of the Bollinger Band. But when it comes down to Lucid, the 50-day moving average is that make it or break it point. So you really want to watch that. And coincidentally, this is exactly what right here, this pivot point roughly is. So if it can get over that, then definitely $7 is fairly realistic, similar to what the options is kind of pointing to. Let me know your thoughts on that. And when it comes down to options, I don't know if I said or not, but this just is merely a sentiment. So it doesn't matter if like $500 billion worth of calls were purchased. Technically, that is just more of a sentiment. It does not move the stock price. So let me know your thoughts on that. As far as this, the latest Morningstar report that did come out a couple days ago does show the fair market value for Lucid is at $9.17. So pretty interesting stuff when it comes down to that. But also, while I am on Interactive Brokers looking at analyst ratings, the last being 𝗪𝗓𝗧𝗪 from Exane, who does have a 69% success rating, but that was 21 days ago. So hopefully a lot more analysts start to jump on board in an optimistic viewpoint for Lucid, because the last couple weren't necessarily the best. So good old Morgan Stanley, so Adam Jonas giving his $5 target, and it looks like it's being a little bit more contagious. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. If you are looking for a lot of good compiled information such as this, Morningstar reports, analyst forecast, take a look at Interactive Brokers, completely free to have all of this information. Link in the description below and also the comments. But when it comes down to shorts, I will give you a good overview of what they are doing. So right now, short score is currently 75, utilization is 89.27%. And as far as right now, they are increasing 475,000 shares. And so how I interpret this data, with them increasing on a green day, it does show that they feel like that's not realistic, that it does need to pull down a little bit. So again, on this channel, I like to just throw some data points at you, kind of give you a viewpoint if it's optimistic or not, and then from there you guys make your own determination, because I am not a financial advisor. 24.18% of the free float is being shorted. 200.16 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average is currently at 2%. So like I've said in the past, I do feel that 24.18% is just way too high, because there's a lot of companies out there that have a substantially lower short interest and they produce absolutely nothing whatsoever. So kind of interesting about that. So let me know your thoughts on Lucid in the comments below. Give yourself a shout out in the comments if you have been buying, selling, holding, what you have been doing in the comments. And for those of you that did listen to my options, because I think on Sunday I did go over some tentative options to do for this upcoming or expiring today, and if you did listen, you'd be obviously collecting some easy premiums. So once again, this is why I did feel that based on the circumstances, it wasn't going to get over $6.50. So this is why I did sell some covered calls. That's going to be expiring in the next hour. So a pretty big benefit for me, unless within the next hour there is a spike above 650. But still, again, it's pretty good stuff, options. So take advantage of the volatility and do some options. If you don't know how to do them, highly recommend you guys researching, whether it be calls, puts. There's a lot of different variations that you can do. So let me know your thoughts on that. One final thing, take advantage of amazing promos, and this one just started today. Link in the description below and also the comments. Sign up for a free account and then throw $100 at it. You get 5 free stocks. Each stock can be valued up to $2,000. So that is a crazy deal right now. Link in the description below and also the comments. And with that said, I appreciate you guys watching, and let's all make a lot of money on Lucid.